I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about my diet regime. I'm very, very structured in what I'm eating. I eat pretty much the same thing day in, day out, and everything I do eat is weighed out to the gram. For my breakfast and my second meal, I have a protein shake. I've found this new brand of whey protein at my local supplement shop is just up the road here, which is very convenient. So if I do run out at any point, just a quick nip up the road to see Ali, and he sorts me out with a good price. I've got this Joker whey, and the flavours are fantastic. I've got one I'm eating at the moment is Cocoa Crunch, and it's basically coconut flavour, and it's actually got little bits of desiccated coconut in it, which is really, really nice when you're mixing that in your protein shake. And top tip, pinch of salt. Just a little pinch of salt just really enhances the flavour, I find. So yeah, that's meal 1 and 2. Generally meal 2 I make it with milk, reason being because that's like my pre-workout meal, as it were. So I have that. I aim for 50 grams of protein each of those shakes. So the one I have first meal is 70 grams of the powder, and then the second one is 300 ml odd of semi-skim milk and 50 grams of the whey protein, and I chuck a tablespoon of chia seeds in there for the fibre and the I can't remember which of the omega oils it is, but it gives me that little bit extra there. So then I'll go off down the gym, and I'll come home, and my third meal of the day is always a chicken salad of some variety. I say variety, there's no variety at all really. It's a chicken breast, sort of around about the 200 gram mark, and I take about 100 grams of those spicy cornichons you get from Lidl that are soaked in a chili vinegar, and they're absolutely beautiful. And I have an avocado, and the way I do that, I cut it around the middle, get the stone out, and then on the inside of the flesh, before I've scooped it out, just do a crisscross pattern. And then when you scoop it out onto the bowl, it all comes out in perfect little chunks. Have that, and then about 100 grams of tomatoes, and probably about 100 grams of chopped mushrooms as well. Mix all that together, salt, pepper, apple cider vinegar, and a little pinch of MSG, the flavour enhancer that the Chinese use in their cooking, and that is absolutely lovely. No rice, no pasta, no nothing like that. And for me personally, I find that quite sufficient. And then my last meal before I go to bed at night is 200 grams of Greek yogurt, and again with another scoop of whey protein, and that brings me up nicely to around about 200 grams of protein for the day. Fat content can vary depending on the size of the avocado I use. At the moment I've got some pretty big ones from Lidl, and I was quite shocked actually how, I think yesterday's one was about 200 grams of flesh, just under, and that came in at about 400 calories I believe, which really quite surprised by that. So all in all, over the course of the day, I'm probably doing around about 2,000 calories, give or take. And I do occasionally have a tablespoon of peanut butter. It's usually a big scoop of it, just to fight the hunger pangs. So yeah, around about 2,000, maybe 2.5, 3 tops. But then when you factor in training several times a week and a fair amount of walking, not as much as I was doing during the summer, I'm probably doing around about 8,000 steps a day, 8 to 10,000 steps a day I'd imagine. And all this regimented eating Monday to Friday, and probably halfway through the day Saturday, it gives me a bit of release on Saturday nights when I do have a bit of a pig out. And take this Saturday gone for example, I went over to Lidl after work, and I bought myself one of those big bags of their own brand of cheesy Doritos. I got myself a couple of the I think they call them the firecracker chicken breasts, and they're just chicken breasts with like a crispy spicy coating on, and a couple of their fresh baked focaccia rolls, which are about this sort of size. Cooked those up, put them in there, had some mayonnaise and stuff. And then afterwards I did a 4-pack of Kit Kat Chunky, and then also half a bag of their own brand of chocolate covered sultanas, and that was really, really nice. And I did have a few drinks afterwards as well. A rough estimate, probably about 4,000 calories over the course of the day. Oh yeah, beg your pardon. And I also bought myself 5 of those spiral pain raisin, which was supposed to be for breakfast the following day, but I did have one before the Sunday morning. So yeah, probably in the region of 4,500 calories at a guess. So that was a good week of eating, but I'm still ripped and the scales are going down incrementally. Having said that, last week I did put on a little bit of weight, but I attribute that to doing a slightly different workout routine. I mentioned in the last video about moving over to full bodies from a push-pull legs split, and I've incorporated these Bulgarian split squats and the 20 rep squat, and I think I could feasibly have put on a little bit of muscle on my legs doing that. So I've reached the holy grail. I've lost body fat and gained a little bit of muscle. So it'll be interesting to see how my body composition changes over the coming weeks, with more sessions of the 20 rep squat and the Bulgarians under my belt, literally. So we'll see how that goes.